So, I did say that I got a chance to see The Last Jedi, and these are my thoughts. I really don't have too much to say because, then we'll find out how long this goes. I'm not happy with this new series. I wasn't happy with the last film, as many weren't. I mean, realistically, you can look at it and tell that it's just a remake of Star Wars. Rian Johnson is one of my favorite directors. I do like him. I like what he did prior to this film. Definitely love Looper because Looper showed signs of his version of a Star Wars, and I wish that he just stayed in his world, in his Looper world, and just created whatever it is he had in mind for Star Wars. He should just roll it into Looper. And what I mean by that is that he's getting ready to do a 3-part film series. I believe that's probably going into production sometime next year, if not this year. I don't think it's this year because I think the last installment with J.J. Abrams is, I don't know, they might already be filming. Whatever, I'm not keeping heads or tails when it comes to this now. Anyway, yeah, I wasn't really happy with the Star Wars. All right, this is what I'll say. One, they still haven't revealed who Rey's parents are, and I have a theory. What's the face? Ben is like, oh, they abandoned you and da da da. And I thought that was just a really cheap way of trying to get out of not, letting you know who her parents were. Because if this was the case, then there should have never been a storyline in the last Star Wars kind of alluding to, oh, I can't remember and who are my parents. You could have just left that off the table and just, made Rey, or, just someone that you would just see walking, the planet. And then she gets into adventures. Yeah, she has an adventurous spirit. She ends up, meeting these infamous characters that she's heard about. And she has these powers that she has no idea. And then she has to go see Skywalker. Done. The fact that they pull that out, oh, your parents, they abandoned you and da-da-da-da-da. And the fact that I also read that Rian Johnson was going to make her a robot, to me, says that they had no idea what they were going to do. They just thought they would use this as a plot device to keep people coming back. And if anyone remembers, you can probably go up on YouTube and pull down interviews. Daisy Ridley, I know because I remember seeing it and kind of being annoyed, and then now more recently realizing that this is kind of like a Hollywood move, or agent or whatever bullshit move that they do. She went on and she said in the interview, oh, so who are her parents? She's like, oh, it's right there. You guys can't see it. It's so obvious who our parents are. You guys just have to watch the film again. You can't see it. So when you hear that statement, to me it says that she knows. It alludes to her knowing who the parents are, and she's not telling, which then alludes to the studio, the creators knowing. Kathleen Kennedy, Lawrence Kasdan, and of the like, knowing who the parents are. Now to hear, oh, it's going to be a robot. Who the fuck saw that coming if that was going to be a concept? Really? Who saw that coming? And she's a robot that knows how to, use the Force. She's the first droid that they created. If you were going to do that, you should establish that in the first story. So it's just one of those plays where, actually the box office shows that the writing is not on the wall. And what I mean by that is that the writing is not at the level that it should be. And it's unfortunate that George Lucas, fucked up the previous 3 because I believe that they should have utilized his knowledge, because if you know about the folklore about Han and Leia having twins and all this other stuff, just, go into that catalog of books. I'm not well versed on it, but I remember hearing these stories and it just sounded so great. And for them to go in this direction, it's silly, So the only thing that I can hope is that Rian Johnson, since I believe now, reading all this, it seems like they just needed a director to fill the shoes to direct this, to direct the second part of it, just like they needed a director to fill the third, which is why J.J. Abrams came back. Rian Johnson said, yeah, I'm not doing that. The reason is now you found out that he had already negotiated. Like I was explaining before, a lot of these negotiations, they happen months and months, sometimes years, before they even hit the press. The press might be told something and then they have to hold on to it. Just like when you watch those, when you watch the crime dramas and the press is there and they do, don't tell anybody about this. Keep this out the papers until we catch the killer or whatever. It's the same game. So, yeah, I can only hope that his concept for the next 3 are going to really be, he did say it's going to be new characters. So I'm taking that it's going to be something fresh from his mind. And we will kind of get a feel more of the real Rian Johnson that we need to see. I didn't even see anything that was, that, like visually stunning that he, just on the lo-fi game that he did with Looper, to me, in my, memory of watching the film, there was nothing stunning. Of course, you had your, cliched, friggin', cutesy animals or aliens or whatever that I just was like, okay, why do we need this? After all the shit from Jar Jar Banks, this shouldn't even be an option. Let's not even think about toys anymore. Let's just think about the story and what do we have. Because they have those little, fake gizmo characters. It just made, no sense to me. They didn't do anything but annoy Chewbacca. It was, it was just something that, make you laugh. As far as the little wolves that they had, the whole setup, when you saw them first enter the scene, they're all running in. That setup just looked a little wonky to me. Just, on a plot device level. Oh my God, they're coming! Here they come! And then you just see them all run in, and it, basically, it just seemed like a way to expose that the sand was red, And then they come in, and then another device to get them out the hole. Oh, where are they going? Oh, they're going out that way. Because they didn't really bring anything to the table other than to show you another life form, I guess, on this planet that I cannot even recall the name of, but it is what it is. One of the things that bothered me, of course, is I don't like lies in screenplays because I'm seeing them way too much in my films. It completely turns me off. It takes me out of the film. And once I'm out of the film, it's really hard to get me back. And the thing that annoyed me was the psychic connection that Rey had with Ben. I didn't understand that once she's on that, once she finds Skywalker, once she finds Luke, why don't you just tell him, look, these things are happening to me. I don't know why I was able to beat this guy or have a fight with him. And now we have this psychic connection, and then Luke can go, all right, well, now that I'm going to, work with you, I'm going to show you how to beat him at his own game, how you can manipulate him and you can, block him out so he won't, because he'll be able to read your mind, if you allow him to do it. And these are talents that he has. And now that we're finding that you have it, but it just hasn't matured in you. So now I'm going to teach you how to, play the game of chess with him. No, she finds out, oh, we know it's there. She doesn't say anything. And it's like, yo, you come into your teacher, with an armpit of lies, of shit that you're holding back, and you want him to teach you stuff. Like, how are you going to learn everything? That shit, to me, was just fucking dumb. It was just dumb. I wasn't happy, that they killed Luke off. It's, basically what they're setting up is to get rid of the old generation, bring new generation in. It's just dumb. I didn't really care for the way he died. I liked his fight with Ben, and then the see you later kid and all that. You just the way that he did that holograph, I thought it was dope because after a while, I kind of caught on to it. You know, actually, no, I'm lying. I didn't catch on to it. Because I did find it odd that he was there when he arrived. I was like, how the fuck did he just show up? Like, I didn't see a plane or anything. Like, how did he, and we knew that the X-wing was in the water, and I'm like, okay, we didn't see him raise it up. We didn't hear anyone say, incoming, whatever. He was just there, So to have that battle, and I think it was kind of a little silly because when they fired on him and they didn't kill him, and then they do this battle, and then to have him die, or to act like he died, and then to have him really die is stupid. You might as well just really have him there and just kill him. To have him die sitting in front of the sun, which made no sense to me because it didn't seem like he was sick. They didn't allude to that. I could see if you alluded to that there was something wrong with him. He's just sitting in the sun, and what the fuck did he do? He just held his breath. Now you're going to tell me that he was able to create the psychic hologram connected to his spirit and his real being, and that, and he meditated himself there. So to try to sell me on when you die in your dream, this wasn't a dream. He meditated himself on that island to battle this kid, battle his nephew, have his nephew feel like he killed him, and then we see him die off. It just seemed like once again, another cheap plot device to kill off a character as far as I'm concerned. There's no reason why Han, Leia, and Luke can have this, 3-story arc. They going about their way. Hey, we're getting, a little older. We can't fight as much or whatever. Or they're just in a whole other adventure that we don't know about. Or they win the battle, and that's just the end of that. And then Rian Johnson's able to bring in his other shit. And then people also want Battlefront, which is before the Empire. So, we all know that there's a shitload of stories that they could have gone with. I still want my fucking Darth Maul story. Will I ever see that on the screen? Probably 50 years later after they've milked everything and they go, oh, let's decide to make a Darth Maul. Let's go back and talk about the years before that we did in Clone Wars. A lot of this shit's starting to turn into money grabs now. And Disney, it should kind of be above that right now. The one thing that I did like, I liked how Leia was able to use the Force. I thought that fucking scene was awesome. And it, just made me want to see those earlier sequels, of the folklore that's in those books, that happened after the first 3 Star Wars films. That we now know after all of these years that she knows how to use the Force, and I think that George Lucas really dropped the ball. He should have really done further adventures rather than doing those prequels, because I could really care less about Anakin. And at that time, I didn't think that Hayden Christensen was the strongest. He should have definitely got somebody like Leonardo, to do that. I haven't seen him. I mean, I did see Hayden Christensen act recently, and it's, way better than how he was acting then. And he was like, pretty much a fresh face. He had only done that film with Kevin Kline, and I thought he was pretty cool and it was pretty decent. But to carry something as big as that, Star Wars, I had already explained that those 3 films were a money grab for Lucas. You can listen to the earlier podcast episodes, and I go into that, or you can just do the research yourself and find out. But there were some cool things. I'm not, they're trying to, I feel, screw with us with this love triangle now with this new character that she likes. Homeboy, I can't fucking remember his name now. And is he gonna? Is there an attraction with Rey, or is there not an attraction with Rey? Then they bring in the other girl and she's kissing him and wubba 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 bubba bubba bubba. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Let's stick to a plan. Let's stick to a course. Are they or aren't they? Don't try to do the Luke and Leia and Han type storyline, because that's way different. And that device is just, I don't see them really putting proper closure on this at all. And if you're trying to put, damn, I'm just fucking the names. You know why? Because when I'm not really attached to it, it's like whatever to me. So it's like, I don't feel that connection to keep the information that close to me. Sorry, it's just how I built myself. Fuck it. The soldier that Oscar Isaacs plays, it seems like, hi, I'm this guy. Hi, I'm Ray. Oh, finally meet you. Now it's, oh, are they? Maybe this is it's like, you know what? You guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. We're going to see that don't know what the fuck you're doing. The box office receipts have already shown that you don't know what you're doing. And as much media pump you want to try. Look, you're getting bread off of curiosity. You're getting bread off of, the legend that is Star Wars. The fanboys want to see that, which is no different in the scenario that Warner Brothers is doing with DC. They have think tanks, which I might have explained in another episode. They have think tanks. They put all the money together. They know what their budget. They know what they have to make, how they're going to make this money back. They know that they're going to put out the Justice League DVD. They know that they're going to put out the Jedi DVD, Last Jedi DVD. They're going to throw in the some bells and whistles. People are going to buy it, and that's how there's different ways that they're going to meet. They're going to get their money back. You can better believe it. It may not be now, but they're going to get their money back. So they play on these little half-ass storylines, and they know that you're going to come and pay your money, just like you're going to go and pay your money for the last one, because it's the last one, and we have to see that, and whatever, and it is what it is. So I'll leave that at that, and I'll say, never mind, I'll just keep my mouth closed on what I was going to say. And yeah,